Though they're choosing to not to live that kind of lifestyle, but over here it's almost like if you're living the lifestyle you have, where you have everything and you're working hard, now they're restricting certain things, and if you don't bend by the rules, you're almost forced to lie flat now. So it's kind of weird dynamic. The way I looked at it was like America was almost forcing it, and then you have people over there who were choosing to lie flat. So that was my take on it when I saw a couple of videos on it. I was like, it was very weird comparison, but it was like a flip, and you could just see that that's the state of mankind. In a sense, mankind is like in this state of waking up to seeing what's going on in one way in China. We don't want to, work hard. We don't see the benefits, and we just want to survive. And over here, it's you barely surviving. You barely making enough to survive, or struggling. So
it looks like they were trying to force them to go to work by basically coercion. So like they limited the amount of time that they could play video games, and limited the amount of time that they could do some of the things that they were engaged in, like partying and I think that you can't like I think you can't like some of them were like sleeping on the sidewalk or something like that, and they're trying to make it to where you can't do that. So they're slowly trying to get them to fulfill these menial jobs, so that the
they want to participate back in society the way it was set up
yeah.
before. The 9-9-6, I guess what they said, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The one thing I seen about it, it was close, but it looked like it was paralleling what's happening here. People are working themselves all day and not feeling like they're getting ahead.
Yeah.
So it seemed like they were just giving up over there. And he said they even laughed when they gave him the 3-child policy. They said there's no way they can afford them.
Yeah.
And what's scaring me is I'm hearing that same thing in America now. It seems like as hard as you work, and I know some people, I call it one of the biggest crimes I think there is the working poor. You work all day and you still can't afford to pay your bills. And now I'm hearing a lot of younger people say, I can't have kids. I can't afford kids and stuff. So that's one of the parallels that I saw in the movie with America.
I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead, brother.
I saw another video that was talking about how there wasn't enough children being reborn to replace some of the older generations in America, and that's going to cause a problem. But
you heard Death of the West?
I haven't heard.
There's a book called Death of the West written back in the 90s. It was talking about in Europe.
Yes.
They've been below, was it 2.1 or something to replace the population?
Positive birth rate.
Right. And it's happening here in America. It's happening to Black Americans as well. That's why Hispanics are outnumbered us now, and is it Oriental or Chinese other immigrants are taking over because we've been Americanized or Westernized. Is that what we say? Westernized. There's certain things we value over family and children.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's my bad. Go ahead. I ain't gonna hold up all the conversation.
No, you good, brother. I appreciate everybody's input. I was just gonna say just about when you were talking about money. Both of you guys had, both of you brothers, excuse me, had interesting views on what that lying flat was all about. Like you saw the parallels. I saw that too. But you said something about the working poor, and you work all day and can't afford enough. I was just in a meeting with it was like a virtual meeting with the financial advisor, and talking about retirement. And her main thing was, this is not good. What's happening with this inflation? Everybody's seeing. This was like a kind of like a group meeting thing. She was like, everybody's seeing it, and you have to basically make moves because you don't know what it's going to look like in the future.
Right.
You know, because this is really a serious situation. And she was talking about when you go to the grocery store, which we all see. We go get gas, we go to the grocery store, we try to buy things if it's on the shelves. and you see the prices going up everywhere. But yeah, that when I saw that, I thought about what socialism does. That's the downside of socialism, because it doesn't spark innovation and ingenuity and a drive, because you can't, it's like if everybody's getting the same thing, or if I have to be forced to do this particular work, or if I do this work, I'm not going to get anything from it. That's what's happening here. And it's like, because you look at these policies, they're counterintuitive. How do you're giving money, but then you make it to where you give enough money to where it's not beneficial to go to work.
Right.
But then the people that go to work, they're not making enough money. And these, you know what I'm saying? These are people who have spent years in getting advanced degrees,
Right.
except, you know what I'm saying? It's something's not right. And then everybody's in tremendous debt.
Mm-hmm.
So that's by design. It seems like it's the destruction of the system to rebuild another one. I firmly believe that America is the last bastion, for that, as far as like where they talk about tyranny. You know, you saw that with what's going on right now. And I'm live streaming, so I want to be conscious of what we talk about. But yeah, it seems like it's by design. And everything, even the breakdown of what's going on culturally, it's like all this is happening at one time. It's really, I believe it leads to the destruction of the United States.
Yeah. I've seen people just throw their hands up.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much madness going on. A lot of people can't cope. Now it's a little different for me. I mean, because I'm not out there anymore working.
Right.
I can, my kids, when I talk to my kids, man, it's hectic. It seems pretty hectic right now for people who's trying to, to get ahead or pursue the American dream. If we can't, however you want to say the American dream,
mm-hmm.
but I hear the frustration in their voices as well, and they're doing good, but they're afraid to have children right now.
Yeah, it's if you talk to young people, man, I haven't, the opportunity to talk to a lot of young people. And if you talk to them, many of them do not want children, do not want marriage. And if they do want marriage, they want to push it far down the line. And then that's, that what you sent made me think too, what's happening in this whole and what's happened specifically to men, about how they're like failing to launch.
Yeah.
They playing video games. They're on their mother's couch. They're saying, what's the point?
Yeah.
They're saying, what's the point? Why even do this? Because it's not going to be beneficial.
Yeah.
And then I look at young people as a whole. What's their situation, going to be in the future? Like you said, the American dream, it was achievable in former years.
I don't want to make it seem like it's impossible. There are some, like I said, there are some people who dig down and get it done. So I don't want to make it seem like nobody can.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
We're not speaking in absolutes.
We talking about the masses, as far as masses.
Well, the young people, it seems to be in a tougher situation, to be honest, to me. I mean, yeah, and the American dream, I mean, if it's because that American dream can mean different things, different people. It can mean being a millionaire,
right.
Or it can mean, hey, American dream is wrapped up surrounding home ownership.
Mm-hmm.
It could, back in the days, my father's day, he went to college and graduated from college. Both my parents did. But my father, all his friends, they just went to the mill.
Right.
And they had money, good money. They were to build their lives based on what they got working in that mill. So, it's a different time now, though.
Right.
It's an odd time. When you throw automation and the fourth industrial revolution, it's something.
We had an area in I think it was southwestern Ohio, where they said that it was a lot of people were ODing, and they called it death of despair, meaning that they saw absolutely no future or no way ahead, so they just did them drugs until they.
That's why drug abuse is so prevalent in the United States, because reality is harsh. Even think about it, even getting a job, even making money.
Yeah.
you can make some money, and you're like, man, I have in this, and you think you don't see what truly life is about. You're not fulfilled, and you say this is it. That'll cause you to get high.
Yeah.
Not just poor people getting high.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lot of people getting high because of their reality.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's how we cope. We cope with our harsh reality, with our imagination. Our imagination allows us to cope. And sometimes people lose touch with reality because they lose it. But then also people use various narcotics, use drugs, use destructive behavior. They do a lot of different things. You know?
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that we are dealing with much more competition than what previous generations have had. Um, when I look at some of the programs that I've tried to get into, like for school and like the fellowship program that I'm trying to get into for college. Most of the students who try to get with the fellowship are not from here. Like they're from another country. And so these programs were initially they were meant for as well, it seems as though they were meant for the minorities that already were here in the United States. But you often see people from different nations who occupy positions that actually pay well and stuff like that. So we have a lot more competition as opposed to.
Right. You mean with that was somebody talking about that the definition of they said affirmative action and something else. They said that the definition was too broad because those programs were originally specifically designed to help the people that were oppressed.
Yeah.
And by them make it just using just such broad language, all of a sudden everybody falls into that category. You know, so meaning. Well,
it was white women, from my understanding, that really benefit from affirmative action.
Yeah.
It was as opposed to who initially it was meant for, and then on the flip side of that, it was framed to say it's to give blacks just jobs that they're not qualified for. That's actually not what affirmative action.
Right.
It was about giving people an opportunity who were qualified because we've been locked out historically.
Right. Because they looked back at the history of the Columbus Fire Department. And I never forgot, they keep this picture where they said the mayor went to the black community, said, if you vote for me, we'll hire some black firefighters. But they could never leave this one firehouse. Even when they got promoted, they had a fire truck with captains and chiefs and lieutenants. Wasn't even no firefighters. These brothers got promoted and they had to stay there. And this was in the 60s. So it was still that way now. Yeah.
No, go ahead, brother.
No, I was gonna say, so when I hear people say 200 years ago, I was like, no, man, I was born during the civil rights movement, So I said, most of the people are still alive, so anyway, but yeah, they don't hire no unqualified people. It's just to at least get you looked at.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I was looking at some pictures from the Harlem around the time of the 20s and 30s in Harlem, and you saw some black officers. I said, I know they were relegated to one area.
Yeah.
One area only. This is your patrol. You better not go outside of this area. Yeah. But yeah, brother. And that brother Austin said something else, maybe. What were you just talking about, brother? What's the last thing you said? You remember, brother Austin?
Yeah, I was just saying that the younger generations are dealing with much more competition.
Yeah.
In a globalist society.
Yeah, and they're not prepared.
Yeah.
They're not prepared. That's the unfortunate. They don't realize what they're up against. So many of them, it's a global economy. You're competing with people around the world. You're competing with not just your classmates, and they're simply not prepared, and they don't have the drive that these other people have in these other countries. In no way, shape, or form. They don't have a culture. That's where the drive comes from, because you have pressure to do better, as opposed to you basically You basically get the Jordans, you basically get your iPhone, you get what you want. You might have a little job, pay for your incidentals, and I've seen documentaries, educational documentaries about the systems in China. I remember back in the days when they had in Japan, they used to go 6 days a week. When they had cram schools, those kids were going to school all day long, catching a train after school to go to school number 2 to basically touch up on concepts that maybe they needed to touch up on at night, going to school all day long, 6 days a week. Those hours add up. You're in China and you're thinking like, I have to compete with 1 billion people, with this test I have to take. It's going to determine my future, my standard of living. It's different. So when they come here and they got that culture, we don't have that culture. I always tell people, when you look at who does the best educationally, it's Asians first, whites next, Latinos, and then blacks.
You forgot Indians.
That's Asian, brother.
No, I'm sorry, Asian. I'm sorry. Oh no, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say. So then, when you look at, they get the best. That's who gets grades. The Asians, whites, Latinos, blacks. If you look at who studies more, Asians, whites, Latinos, blacks.
Yeah, they were talking about their cutoff was 100 for their universities. They said.
Say again.
They over in India, they were talking about they had to have 100, a perfect score, to be considered to go to was it Wuhan or one of the universities over in India. I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, but they said you had to have over 100 to even be considered for that university.
I had a professor. He was political science professor. I took several of it, like quite a few of his classes. He was French. He wasn't from the United States. He was born. He was a little baby or a little child. World War II was going on. He said they were eating grass, but nevertheless, he said he spoke 5 languages. Had a PhD from the University of Chicago, and he told me, he was like, man, these universities. He's talking about American universities. He was like, man, they passing out A's like candy. He said back in the day, you really had to earn an A.
Yeah.
Not today.
Yeah, my friend who I was talking to, he said at Purdue, a lot of the students would come in and they wouldn't be prepared for the program, and the teacher would just pass, or they would curve it. They would curve the test score so they would pass, so it wouldn't reflect the
truth.
No child left behind.
And you live, no child left behind, and you lower Spanish.
Yeah, but one thing that one of the admissions professors, well, he said he was an admission. He worked in admissions at Purdue, and then he worked at admissions at Northwestern, and he told me that most of the people who pursue like their master's or their PhD, they'll either be from India or they'll be Nigerian. Some of them will be from Asia. But he said that as far as like American students, it's not a lot that that do those.
I told you, for my son, I was just looking at the engineering program at Purdue. He's not, he's young, but I was looking at that. I was just looking at the professors. I was looking at that.
Yes.
They were from different places. Yeah, because it's cultural though. That is cultural. We man, that's cultural. Yes, sir. But I thought that was interesting and telling, because that impacts everything. People don't think about how that even impact relationships, family building. How you gonna build a family if you never launch? If you lying flat, how you gonna? This thing is not set up for. It's not that it should be that you lying flat somewhere. Even Adam was tilling in the Garden of Eden.
Right.
keeping, protecting the garden. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do something.
You gotta keep pushing though.
Yeah.
So you can break out of this system.
Yeah. And I think you have a small window in the sense of like right now, how things are set up to go outside of the mainstream, because the things that they're telling you now simply are not working. It's not like even what you need to retire, you might as well keep working. You be at Walmart just heel over, as a greeter, because it's not gonna. It's not.
Hey, don't crap on my next job, man.
Hey, brother, you'll be straight. You'll be fine.
Nah, brother, these healthcare costs are stupid.
Hey, and that's the number one cause of bankruptcy.
That's why
in
I
America.
had to go back out there. Healthcare is stupid. But anyway.
Yeah, brother. It's when you look at it, some of the numbers she was putting forth and what you got to have, man.
Yeah. I spoke to.
You got to come with a different way, because and then they're getting rid of 401ks. They're getting rid of pensions on certain jobs. It's crazy.
They're doing away with 401ks now.
Well, I mean, like my father. My father worked for a Fortune 500 company, and they, the things that they were offering is what I'm saying. They're not offering them as much. Because people not working. It's not like you going to work for 25 years at a company anymore.
Right.
Or 35. People go from job to job.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So Austin, what they tell you when you graduated? Because they had my kids thinking they was gonna graduate and make $100,000 a year.
I knew that it was a scam from the jump.
Offering is what I'm saying. They're not offering them. What's going on?
Nice YouTube live. Yeah, they fooled my kids.
I knew it was a scam from the jump. I'm like, listen, we sitting in class and we're not learning anything. How are we expected to get a job if we not learn? I was saying that like from my freshman year. I had been saying that. And so I was like, okay, I need to make some moves so I can figure out how to not be impacted by this, because I saw it. I knew that what was going on, but everybody was acting like it wasn't obvious. Like when we was telling teachers we not learning nothing, we were telling teachers like, what's the point of this? They just like they couldn't say anything because it would have compromised their job. But they just didn't do anything. The technology building that I was in was understaffed. So we got it worse because the program, when they first introduced it to the university back in like the 80s, it's nothing like it is now. It has deteriorated greatly. And so there was not as many professors that were on tenure as there are now at the university. So a lot of teachers, they ended up leaving, getting different jobs. And so you would have professors that would teach multiple course subjects and things they had no absolutely clue. They weren't familiar with at all. And so you would just sit there and like, I'm like, bro, we're not learning anything. It's been times where the teacher would just tell the students to Google it. He would tell the students to Google it. And so I'm like, okay, man, this is stupid. So I had to do the best that I could to prepare for it. So I would go to I've been at like a whole bunch of career fairs. People talk about elevator speeches and pitches and all of that. I've been doing stuff like that. And so it's just, you got to keep trying to, make a way for yourself, because you see what you in, and that's the best way. That's the best thing you could do. But you see the scam when you're there though. Like your freshman year, you're like, oh yeah, that's why most people be dropping out, because the
dropout rates in colleges are atrocious.
Yeah.
If they were a Chicago public school, all universities were Chicago public school, they would be closed by the state.
Yeah.
The state would take them over. They get their money from incoming freshmen. Yeah, it's bad, man. It's really bad. Costs are extremely high, and the dropout rate is also extremely high.
And then you got to deal with teachers trying to indoctrinate you too. I had a few courses that didn't have anything to do. It didn't have anything to do with what the title of the course was. And so I've had to drop courses like that, and it can become a waste sometimes. You got to know specifically what you're doing before you go to school.
Yes, you do.
You gotta
And
go.
most young people don't. And
Yeah.
their parents don't know either.
Yeah.
But that indoctrination, the higher you go, the worse that gets. You go, yes, brother, that can get serious because at a certain point, quite frankly, they try to make revolutionaries.
I see.
Real talk. They trying
That's
to
crazy, man.
Yes, sir.
That's crazy.
Yes, sir.
So you, I would I would try to pursue a master's in engineering. Do you think it would still be the same thing for a program like that as
As far
far
as
as
indoctrination?
Yeah.
No, not in engineering. No, you got to build a bridge. I'm talking about more like social science.
I got you. Copy that.
I'm talking about more of the social sciences, even in education. I saw that.
Copy. I see.
I taught, like I said,
That makes sense.
classes. It taught more about Marx than you did about Horseman, anybody else.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm reading Gromsky, prison notebooks. I'm reading all the stuff. It's like, man, that's just straight up. Yeah. You reading all of that, you know. So yeah, you're head in the clouds somewhere, but it's indoctrination. And you think of it, it gets worse. I'm telling you. But speaking of schools, I wanted to show y'all brothers this. Give me 1 second to share my page. Unless y'all had something else on what we were talking about just now. There we go. Did you brothers, I don't know if y'all able to look at this. Speaking of schools, what are we doing? This is cause growth of Loudoun County School official to resign after 2 sexual assaults tied to trans bathroom policy. After months of turmoil over COVID restrictions, critical race theory, and transgender policies, this is from CBN, by the way, calls are growing for a Northern Virginia school superintendent and other board members to step down. Latest development includes accusations that some Loudoun County public school officials are trying to cover up alleged sexual assaults by a gender fluid student wearing a skirt. So this is basically, he said, I'm sorry we failed to provide the safe environment we aspire to provide, Superintendent Scott Ziegler wrote. According to the Commonwealth's attorney, the same teenager is accused in both incidents that happened months apart at different Loudoun County high schools. In one, the attack took place in the girls' restroom. The alleged attacker was allowed access to the bathroom by the school's transgender policy. The victim's father, Scott, you can imagine sending your daughter to school and they're allowing boys to go into the school girls' bathroom. The victim's father, Scott Smith, is suing the school system after being arrested while trying to confront the board in a recent meeting. Mr. Ziegler, how could you have lied to all these parents about what had happened to my daughter? The superintendent and the school board members insisted in a statement they were, quote, not aware of the specific details of this incident until it was reported in media outlets, unquote. Man, this is Senator Cruz speaking on it. I guess he's tweeted, in the wake of the Loudoun County cover-up of the sexual assault by a gender-fluid individual against a 9th grade girl, I asked Biden nominee Holly Thomas why she's argued that concerns about predators committing violent crimes against young girls was unfounded and speculative. The county recently adopted a rule allowing transgender students to use restrooms that match their gender identity, a policy supported by Virginia's Board of Education. Meanwhile, the state's Democratic majority legislature passed HB 257, which ended mandatory school reporting of certain crimes to the police, including sexual battery. Quote, so parents are not aware, so law enforcement is not aware. I think this has a lot to do with how they handle both of these rapes, unquote, said Loudoun County parent Patty Mender. Know what you brothers think?
That's crazy. This reminds me of something that I saw earlier this year, where I think they were allowing like transgenders to go to like the gender that they identify with. If they were to go to jail, they would go to whatever jail they identify with. So it was guys.
A problem too.
Yeah, because they was raping the guys was raping the women that was up in there.
Like, yeah, you really a man? Come here, let me see.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah,
So
that's
if
dangerous.
something happened in the school, they couldn't report it. Could they report it if my sons was up at the school, talking to the guy or to the person? I'm saying so maybe they can't.
Oh, you saying they can't report if you go up there and retaliate?
Not me, my boys.
Oh, your boy. Oh,
Yeah, she got two brothers. There better be some get right going on. Well, honestly, I took my kid out to school.
Oh yeah,
because that's how I ended up over here where I'm at now. They was like, well, next year. I said, ain't no next year. I don't care how we was out, you know.
Bro, that's a man. I can't imagine. Man.
I'll move out the state before I roll with that.
It'll be some furniture, man. That would be not good.
Those laws, brother, that they have, they sound like a church organization we know of. Kind of secrecy, you know, things that's going on in the background.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder what organization you're referring to, good brother.
There's a lot of them doing that.
I know about the Catholic Church, but I know.
Yeah, I knew which one he was. But I found some other ones doing it nowadays.
You mentioned we was live, so I was trying to be careful.
Yeah, I was trying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it definitely sounds very similar to what's going on. School has become mass and Catholic Church, man.
Did y'all see that picture? That they had a picture on Facebook. It was they had Kyrie, then they had that other kid. I can't think his name, but it's messed up. But they said they can respect his decision. He sodomite. Now you can respect his decision, but you can't respect his. I just posted. I said when the wicked is in power, this is what we get.
You know, brother. I think that a part of that too is that's how you break down society too. You break down the traditional values. You distort history. You do different things to bring in a whole new system. In addition to just because it just doesn't make any sense unless you're pushing that on purpose. I mean, what we talked about last week, the Superman's son is in a sexual relationship or a relationship with a man. It's Lewis Lane, not Lois Lane. Now it's Lewis. It's crazy. So where is this coming from? And you're being bombarded with this,
right?
But this this research I was doing for this book, brother. Man, this is with that. People say there's no agenda. Just that part there. This agenda been in the works for decades.
Right.
Decades. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just found this to be extremely problematic.
But the question is, brother, with that kind of agenda being in the works, knowing that you're going to make an extreme effeminate country, is it planned for it to be overtaken?
I believe so. It's culture. More, brother. I think it sounds conspiratorial, but number one, because you think about China, China's doing the opposite.
Right. Right.
China is saying, hey, let's have more babies and your men need to be more masculine. The United States is effeminizing everything. I tried to watch the NBA kickoff, the first night, and I saw Al Aldridge. He slid his foot under, I think Middleton. He took a shot, and they called a flagrant foul. I said, I turned it off. I said, I can't watch this.
Oh yeah. They protect the shooter now, so they don't roll.
But everything is, and from the invasion of male spaces by females. To the feminization of men everywhere you go. Like I said, you watch football. I was watching the Rams play somebody, and I saw men over there with pom-poms. This is everything being watered down. Everything is less masculine. Everything. So that's by design, and that leads to this. You can't have a strong society like that. How you gonna fight off? What happens to your warrior class? You destroy them. You destroy them. When you destroy a man, this is what you're doing. Look at the men you see in TV today. Look at the men. If they're not homosexual, they're feminized. Many of them, but non-threatening. I believe that's by design.
I noticed the change in the I think it was in the 80s, where all of a sudden all the fathers on TV were dumb, and the mothers were smart, but the fathers were dumb and lazy and getting yelled at.
And the mothers of the wives were very aggressive.
Yes.
Very aggressive, and the men feared their wives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's by design. I believe it's a bigger agenda in play.
It was
my point.
Oh,
go ahead, brother. No, go ahead. You got it, brother.
No, I'm okay.
No, I was just saying that. I'll just say something.
Hold on, brother. You let brother Willie say what he's gonna say, because and then you could go, because he has already started.
I was about to say, the way it's kind of got thrown off for a second. Somebody has to go. It'll come back. It slipped.
Okay.
It slipped
away.
Brother.
Go ahead, brother. You
No, I was just saying, man. It was some of the basketball players took a picture, and Spike Lee was in there. The man had a brown purse on.
Did you see that? Did you see that?
I was like, man, I just flipped it. I was
like, wait a minute, man. What is Spike have on? I was looking at his suit. His suit was all stripes, and it was kind of messing with my vision.
No, I'm used to him dressing weird, but now it's just like in every picture or everything, either they got a shirt on, they got a dress on.
You mean a satchel?
No.
It looked like a purse. Well, you can call it a satchel.
I didn't see it. I was just curious.
Man,
it looked like a purse.
And that was a purse.
That's because I thought the same thing, brother. I said, I'm like, okay, wow. You got a purse. What is this? Wow. It looked like a purse, but hey.
Can you pull it up?
You know what? I just tried to. That's what I tried to do, but they're not showing it. They're not showing it. I was like, man, what's going on? But maybe, and I said, because I saw it on the side, I said, maybe that's not right. Maybe I'm just seeing something that's not there, but that's what it looked like. So I couldn't say before, but so you thought the same thing, huh? Let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah, brother, I can't find it.
Yeah, brother. Sorry to jump back in real quick. Ahead. I was thinking, if they're trying to definitely the way they're effeminizing the world, right? America especially.
The Western world.
The Western world. Are they trying to get the people to do the bidding of the government in a way more in the sense of if they want to destroy the people? This is
trying to figure out where it's coming from.
Right. So if they wanted to do that without putting their thumb on it, would you just create, division in a way where the people are now fighting amongst themselves? And especially this book being so-called now, how do you say, what's the word? Brother Albert, what's the word, Brother Albert?
I'm lost.
Where this book is, it's can't even speak tonight, but like it's offensive, right? So everything's offensive coming out the Bible. Yeah. And the way the world, Western America is setting up normalcy for our children and everyone that is willing to believe the propaganda that's being shown to them. Those who are still living this ancient way are now subject to the new age person, you know. And if they're breaking down all the walls and using the Bible is now becoming a harassment tool, it's hate speech, right? So if it's becoming hate speech, and everywhere you see, it's like you watching in Canada, you know, certain preachers just get beat up and cops watching, like nobody's protecting you. So if they could get the minds of the people to do their bidding, based on, you know, their feminization, the removal of God, and if that is like we're saying the government has, not saying the government, but the whole plan to destroy America, wouldn't it be easier to have the people destroy themselves than use your own people to do, I mean, like your own army to attack these people? Why don't you just have them divide themselves?
You saying, go ahead, brother.
I say they had a phrase, wasn't it? Out of order, chaos, out of order, or out of order, chaos.
Order out of chaos.
Yeah, and this was like it's building.
And dialectic.
Yeah, because one of the things you were talking about, when you were talking about the sexual confusion, it takes me that statue of the Baphomet where it's male and female, and it
touching little kids.
Yeah, and I'm saying that seems to be like now, because they went from for now it's like they combined it, so you can be anything with that new term they had. Is it pansexual, the newest thing?
Yeah. But again, conspiratorial. I mean, ultimately, what you're seeing, it is the root of it is satanic, because it's rebellion against God, and He's behind these agendas.
So we know the goal.
Yeah, but I don't. You know, that's an antiquated way of trying to control the masses. You control through whip and violence, because people they get enough bravery, they'll raise up. You know, they'll. That's what. Speaking of things that you're reading about in these classes, you know, I was reading Franz Fanon, "Wretched of the Earth," and the taboo is when the oppressed go against the oppressor. They break that taboo and they actually fight back, because mentally they have been conquered. But once they break forth through that, now it's time to fight, even if it means death. Well, I gotta fight for it, man. I got a phone. Hey man, I can look at all the sports. I'm being fed fake news. But when I say fake, I mean biased news, one way or the other, all day long. I'm getting my value system from the television that's telling me all this wokeness. You know, it's so that is might be more effective. You know, and stealthy, like you can't see it, but it's everywhere. It has to be a concerted effort and agenda to do what we're saying being done. And I think people like how, you know, I talk about how certain, you know, like you look at the agenda to push homosexuality, it's decades old, but I think I know these globalist agendas are centuries. Yeah, because it's like, how is this happening? Why, you know, it's because they had a plan in place already. So that's what I think. I don't know. I mean,
I agree with you.
The question is, have they tested these things? Not really tested, but like, how did they kind of like plan that out and it actually happened in the way that is happening, the way they saw it coming? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but
if we do it this way, it will end up this way. You know what I'm saying?
All you really need, man, brother, if I get an example, if you read like
Fabian.
That's not what I was gonna say. But I give an example, brother. I'm gonna read something for you. 1 second. Give me a second. Give me 1 1 second. Just how agendas work. See, once you acquire power, you can make things work. You can make things happen, excuse me. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Let's see here.
Were the minds of people that predictable?
Yeah.
Psychology, that's what psychologists do. Now, listen. This is from the 1972 National Coalition of Gay Organizations. These are the things that they wanted on the state and federal level. Amend all federal civil rights acts, other legislation and government controls to prohibit discrimination in employment, housing, public accommodations, and public services. They got that. They wrote that in 1972. Issuance by the president of an executive order prohibiting the military from excluding for reasons of their sexual orientation persons who of their own volition desire entrance into the armed services. They got that. Let's see what else. Elimination of tax inequities victimizing single persons and same-sex couples. They got that. Elimination of bars to entry, immigration, and naturalization of homosexual aliens. They got that. Repeal all state laws prohibiting private sexual acts involving consenting persons, equalization for homosexuals and heterosexuals for the enforcement of all laws. They have that. Bro, they have, I mean, when you read what they were trying to do, I can go on and on, but once you read what they were trying to do, they already have accomplished almost everything that they set out to do. That was from 1972. It's 2021. You see what I'm saying? So if you're in a position to where you're a globalist, you're from a family that has historically literally influenced nations, you're on a whole different level. So you'll use an organization that is for supposedly for the rights of Black people for your own purpose. You'll fund it and redirect it to where they'll fulfill your purpose.
Like the ones that came out against Chappelle.
Say again, brother.
There was a Black organization that came out against Dave Chappelle.
Enlighten me, brother. I didn't even hear that. What they say?
Oh, they were one of the people that wanted that Netflix pool. Let me see if I can get the name of it, of the group.
Do you remember what they, like, why?
Oh, because of they said it was homophobic.
Oh, okay.
But this was under the guise of a Black organization.
But if you look, you read Rustin, who was basically the brain behind Martin Luther King Jr., years later, he was homosexual. Years later, he came out talking about this is the next phase of the civil rights movement is rights for homosexuals. He said that.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, it's scary.
I think you step back, it's even bigger. It's more than what we realize.
I agree with you.
I think it's not just it's not by happenstance that these things are happening. So yeah. Yeah, keep looking, good brother. I'm gonna show you one more article. Oh wait, no, this ain't even one. Hold on, motherfucker. Give me 1 second.
The National Black Justice Coalition.
They sound like they just made that up. Like last week. We need a name.
20 years old. It's a 20-year-old group.
I'll say that's a new one.
Yeah.
But Garcia survived.
That's a new one.
Yeah.
That's a new one.
NBJC.
Civil rights. Yeah. Of course, the dude's name is David Johns. When I seen him, I understood.
Oh, okay. I got you. I understood. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. Let's see here. This should show you how things are out of control. see here. I don't know if you brothers had a chance to look at this.
I had just clicked it on my phone and it was like, I don't know if I could get through this.
Yeah, Vermont High School stages drag ball for homecoming games halftime show. So, Vermont High School Vermont High School homecoming football game turned into a drag ball runway at halftime with a mix of students and faculty members parading in gowns, wig, and makeup, and a big crowd in rainbow colors to cheer them on. Things went amazing. That's what Todd, student leader of the Gender Sexuality Alliance at Burlington High School, said Friday night's event, which also included participants from South Burlington High School. The Stance for Complete plaque. It was just so heartwarming to see. But this is by design. This is by design.
You heard the song. We're coming for your children.
I can't laugh. I got babies, man, and that's the work. This is the scary part.
Couple weeks ago, Brother Eula was talking about wanting to put his kids back in public school. You finished with that now, aren't you, Eula? You ain't ready to do that no more.
I didn't hear him say that. I don't recall that.
No, I remember y'all worried about them being your kids being ready for society or something. And that's why I was like, man, don't send them in, because I was worried about it would make them more hostile like it did me. But
okay.
But that's what I was worried about him now with this.
Yeah, I can't do that. Like I say, if they maybe they get up to maybe the 9th or 10th and want to go, that's up to them. But right now, no, they ain't finna indoctrinate my baby.
Yeah,
my baby, I mess around me. I go get them from school because they saying, man, the stuff they be doing up in there. You got teachers standing on young kids back to my high fit, a little Hebrew kid, one standing on the back saying, "Do you feel like you a slave now?" A Gentile standing on a kid back. Y'all remember that? And then ask them, "Do you know how to feel to be?" How you gonna be asking us that? Yeah. I mean, I know the younger generation don't know about it, but still, that was their ancestors. Shouldn't you be doing that to your Gentile student? Boy, no, because I'll be keeping the commandments from prison.
We don't want that to happen.
Yeah,
but I understand.
You don't want that. You don't want that at all. Yeah, it's outrageous, and I think it's not just. It's children around. It's parents around the country that are not pleased with what's going on, right, and having an issue with certain things. Lastly, what were you saying? You said, I don't know if it was you, Brother Austin, or Brother Lawson, that sent me. I guess that was in the group text. The yes means yes law legislation.
Yeah, that was Lawson. He sent that. Did you watch it?
I did watch it. I tried to look at it. Again, I was pressed on time, but I did look at it.
That was crazy.
Yes, I'm gonna read that real quick. And that's just an example of the hypergamy that is going on. You know, in a sense of you're being basically, you see, okay, so clearly, I'm gonna just read this, because clearly things are not equitable when it comes to men and women. So a woman, and again, that's why they fight so hard to be able to have an abortion. It protects them against making wrong decisions with a man's seed, meaning they don't want to be bothered with. Okay, so now that they can have illicit sex can take place, even get pregnant, still doesn't. They can still terminate this pregnancy, but it just shows you on a level of how things are not equal, how this is becoming a gynocracy. This Pennsylvania governor, Tom Wolf, proposing new legislation to combat sexual assaults on college campuses, Now it says, let's see. I want to read the actual. It will require colleges to have policies and clear standards for what is and what isn't consent. Now, first of all, you shouldn't be dealing with whoredom in the first place. That's number one. You should be dealing with fornication. But let's see. It's not on here, but it was actually on Fox. They were talking about how they wanted you to basically, you had to speak the words, yes, I consent. Right. Otherwise, it's sexual assault. Then I'm like, wait a minute. So a woman can go as far as, when in regards to sex, can go as far as killing the seed. But a man has to ensure that to this point, this yes, you actually said yes. You know what I'm saying? You actually have to speak the words by law.
You have to sign soon.
You better get your cell phone out and record it.
You have to sign something.
You better have some discipline, and better than wait on your wife. That's what you better do. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, this just shows disparity, and it's just like, how do you enforce that?
This is similar to what they were trying to do in California. They were trying to make it to where sexual assault, what constituted sexual assault during intercourse, was if a man aggressively, quote unquote, did something to a woman. And so they didn't necessarily use in the law that they had wrote, they didn't necessarily use the words woman, but they only used the body parts that a woman would have. They never mentioned anything about what a man has or anything like that.
That's another way it's about. It's not about men, because it's not like, because men do get sexually assaulted, not to the extent, but to in general, I'm saying to especially young men, things like that. But this is just a crazy world we living in, man. It's just crazy.
So even if you say I consent, doesn't mean you can't retract that statement in court of law.
I believe that doesn't have anything to do with that. That can always be the case. That can always be the case. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, men. I was talking about that. I don't know if you brothers watched the May selection I did.
I missed this one today.
You say again, brother?
Oh no,
I missed today's.
Missed.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna catch that later.
Brothers in general, you gotta have some standards and some discipline.
The way this law is written,
and some discipline. Go ahead, good brother.
I was gonna say a married man could get caught the way this thing is written.
Well, it's on college campuses, but that's the case already. That's
only
the case
on college campuses. Okay.
I believe so. I believe, because I just saw it today. The articles, I'm just starting to read up on it now. We say they want to teach kids about what sexual violence looks like and how to prevent it. So I don't know how low this, because I don't know how low this goes. As far as, does this go to the primary age all the way on up? I'm not sure. I haven't looked at it because he just sent it. But it's in addition to teaching them about man, the stuff they're learning today in school is just ridiculous. I mean, as far as in regard to sex, quite frankly,
morality,
and how young they are. Yeah, it's problematic. It's problematic.
Yeah, I got to the ballet thing early, and there was a girl that barely came up to my waist asking me if I knew how to do the busted. I was the busted.
I don't even know what that is.
It was a challenge on
TikTok.
Twitter. TikTok, yeah. And I said, no, we don't do the butt. This is before ballet class was getting ready to start. Then she told me there was a boy in her school that was doing the challenge. And I was like,
is this a dance or something?
I'm sorry? Yes, it's a
so much provocative.
You change your clothes and then you drop down to your knees or something like that.
Oh,
and
I don't know what it is either.
It's a raunchy dance, I would say.
Okay. It sounds raunchy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, this kid ain't come up to my waist and asking if I knew how to do it. You know, because I was trying to talk to him before the class started to see how it was going. But I'm gonna tell you the worst part of this visit was I was talking to the director of the center. He said, "Man, these kids come right off the school bus over to that rec center." He said they're there till they close the place. So, and I couldn't believe it. And they're there unattended, other than just the guys at the rec center. So anyway, but that's why I said our kids are being influenced with no supervision for the most part.
I remember years ago, I was doing this for one of these classes. I was doing an observation of young people at a Boys and Girls Club. And I grew up going to the Boys and Girls Club, not that particular one. This was one in Gary. And brother, they were not supervised. They all came in, you know, cause we used to have different activities, but they had they had adults there. They were monitoring everything we were doing, right? Man, these kids came there and the first thing they did was turn on the radio and got to gyrating on each other. And that's what they consisted of that. Yeah, that's what they consisted of.
Yeah, there was too many kids for them guys. The few that was there to watch them.
We had itinerary. We had things you did. Yeah, you could play pool and do all that. Now everybody's we got different things going on, arts and crafts. Like we watch a movie here, we do this here, but there was always somebody monitoring. You couldn't just do anything.
Yeah.
It was. I was looking at that. I was like, I couldn't believe it. But
y'all ever say, brother Elijah, y'all ever notice something? Just go to any social media, anyone, and just stroll through it. And notice we on there, we always dance. I be just strolling. I said, that's all we can do.
We doing a jig.
It's just when you stroll through anything. I don't got the Instagram, or I just got the Facebook. But you just stroll through anything, you just look through, all they do is dance. That's like all we can do. I mean, all they can do, but you know what I'm saying? But I'm looking like, man, that's all we want to do is just dance. And you just stroll through, everybody dance. Or they showing they smoking on it's, man, boy, I be lost.
I'm tired of seeing what's her name, man.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Man, brother.
Man.
I know what you about to say.
Yeah, I know where you're
crazy, man.
I'm glad. I just heard. I'm glad I didn't witness it. But yeah, brother, don't even say it. I know what you're talking about. Please, brother, please.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Is that a cry for help, attention? I don't know, but it needs to stop.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I heard other
my legislation. It needs to be some. Not okay, brother.
That's all this pump. That's all this pump to us, brother. That's all. The music, the videos, and violence in cars. All day. All day.
All they want to do.
But we are talented people.
Yeah, we do have talent. We music. Yeah, that's part of it.
I just think that we've been given too much attention and been sold a dream with it though. Like, okay, you guys are going to get famous. That's part of their plan too, right? Make you guys freaking entertainers of the world, you know, for a couple of shekels. But you debasing yourself. You obviously, you know, doing it out of nasty, you know, lustful desires. It ain't nothing godly about the way you move, you know, and you're not using your talent for good. So it's unfortunate for us, you know. People are exploiting our talents. You know?
Yeah, you think about the sports and music, we are gifted. I mean, because we so gifted in music. It's nothing for us to give it away, in part because you got a lot of exploitation going on, but in part it's just in us. It's not like we gotta do anything to have you. You ever seen, man? I've seen little kids, and I think that's not just Hebrews, like that's Black people, period, man. Have you ever seen little kids dancing?
They be killing her.
Bro, I'm 4 years old. I'm like, how do you have that coordination?
I don't know how they got it, man. They just be
That's
shuffling
just,
jiving
that's
right in the mud.
That's just in black people. Some people say it's the melody. I can't say it's the melody. I don't know what it is. It's soul, whatever you want to call it. No, really. I mean,
No,
seriously,
facts.
No, I'm
I
glad
understand.
because
if you think about, because think of the genres of music. You got first you starting with spirituals. You got what we did with gospel, which you R&B, soul, jazz, the blues, hip hop. Bro, we gifted.
Facts. And it does seem like the way we do things are passionate. And it's trendsetters, of course. We definitely trendset, and everybody else. And that's another thing. Like, if we really looking at it, God has made our people trendsetters a long time ago. On that mount, he made us trendsetters. Some of the things that he's put in us, we have taken the bad things and transcended to the world. We didn't take what we should have taken and given it to the world, but man, he gave us so much more.
Listen to this.
The tools to kind of like get people's attention, to bring them into the fold. Like, I look at it that way. Like, you have a beautiful voice, you could rap, whatever it is that you can do, dance. If you could do it for the Lord and get other people involved and want to be a part of that, is that probably why the Lord gave it to you?
I've thought about that, because even if you think about now, you got some preachers that lie, right? Obviously. But the mold in which they lie, well, they can move you with their work. Listen to Martin Luther King.
Cadence.
Martin Luther King will have you out there with a sign. Listen to Malcolm.
Yes.
Malcolm will have you eating bean pies.
I have
Listen to Farrakhan. Man, people talk about Farrakhan. Man, Farrakhan, one of the greatest orators alive. He probably the greatest orator right now alive. People, man, look at these preachers, and man, some of the preachers you probably heard, they was lying. You know what I'm saying? But what, man, they're a bit so like if you had that ability, I've heard several Hebrews say, man, if they was only preaching the truth like that, I'm like, people still wouldn't want to hear, like wholesale. But yeah, brother, yeah. Think about that. Think how we preach. It ain't like I went to a Catholic school. I went to mass. I heard them singing them songs. You used to go somewhere there sing a song. It ain't the same.
You get thirsty trying to sing them.
It ain't the same.
Yeah.
We sing a song, and when we sing a song, the song it's gonna be 16 minutes.
Right.
Why is this song so long? Look at that gospel song online, brother. YouTube. It's 16 minutes. You thought the song was over 3 times. No, it ain't over.
Yeah, because we still harmonizing.
It ain't over. So that's something. That's
unfortunate.
That's something different. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, so the dance, you talking about how it's expressive, and being part of it. I'm with you on everything but that booty shaking part.
All right, well, I'm not saying, I'm just saying like, that's in us. How we're using it is in us. Look at James Brown.
No argument with me from James. No argument with me from
so exuded out of him.
Yeah. And
you couldn't even understand a lot of what he was saying.
I didn't understand nothing.
Some of the songs weren't that many words, but it was just coming out. It just exuded out of him.
Yeah. You right. Oh, I get it.
You think about it, like we was singing for the Lord in that way. Well, if we was, like I said, preaching for the Lord and doing the work for the Most High in that way. I think sometimes I was reading it today when I was doing the lesson. I mentioned David and Saul's daughter, how she despised David because he was out there dancing. It's just
passionate though. Passionate.
Yeah, sometimes we'll listen to what Jesus was saying. Sometimes we read it very in a monotone way, but think how beautifully he spoke those words. Think about the prophets of old, how they spoke. So it was intelligence mixed with passion, mixed with, it was just something there, brother. So like I said, you call it soul, but everybody's trying to imitate it from here to Tokyo.
Now, brother,
and make money off of it.
That's true.
right. So what is that? Where is it? You would know in the scripture, in the Bible, New Testament, where he talks about the gifts that he gives are, you know, every gift, everybody has different gifts, you know, and on the body, you know.
But that's gifts of the spirit.
Right. But aren't these gifts that can lead to spiritual things, that can lead and draw people in spiritually?
Okay, so if you have it, it can work in that way. But that's
so if God, so if God gave you these gifts and you didn't even come into your spiritual aspect of yourself,
bro, we were supposed to be a nation, a kingdom and priests, a kingdom of priests, a holy nation.
right?
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you know, we just have certain things. We just have it. You don't know how to describe it, but people know we have it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, you were supposed to be using, if you think about your voice, yeah, if you're supposed to think about all these great singers, they all started in the church.
Right.
Sam Cooke, right. all these singers started off singing gospel music.
Right.
Can you imagine your greatest singers they never stopped singing gospel music? So yeah, brother. But the gifts of the spirit that's something different. But yeah, the natural gifts he gives you, like even think about Moses. He said, I can't speak. I'm not a good speaker. Because you got to move people. But the Lord gave you to do something, you're gonna do it. But he gave him Aaron to do that. But that's just an enhancement. That's just an enhancement of what it is. If you could put things in a particular way. That cadence that Martin Luther King had when he spoke, brother, he'd send chills he give you chills. You don't even agree. I don't even agree with this, but I know, man, he is, man. I don't even agree with what he's saying. But that's an enhanced, that's just what he has, you know, that oratory, you know, and that's not anything new. You think of like the orators that were Roman senators and things like that. Or when you think about in this country, like a Patrick Henry, you ever read his speech to the Virginia Convention? What he said, those words were powerful, you know, when you read it. But Frederick Douglass saying, what is the force of doctrine of slavery? It's different. It's different. It is different. Even Barack Obama.
Oh yeah.
And his is an imitation in a way. And I say imitation because he can speak like that too. He can speak like Martin Luther King too. And he'll change it up depending on his audience.
True. Yeah.
He'll be singing Al Green. Next thing you know, I got to vote for him.
That just reminded me of Bill Clinton playing the saxophone on Arsenio.
Bro, but why did they? Because
everybody would vote for him.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but blacks, they can relate. You know, they was like, this white man doing something we do. It was like, no. Put all those policies, put all Negroes in jail.
It didn't work with his wife trying to put hot sauce in her bag, though.
Yeah, we already seen that game. It was too late for her.
She tried to follow suit with something different. Hey, you use a saxophone. I'm gonna try this red hot. These French
hot sauce in my bag, swag.
Yeah, that she wasn't. People in general, white women, white people, a lot of white. And I'm not saying this in a disparaging way, but they didn't care for her as a candidate because you know there was enough white women in the country to just vote her in. They really did not like Hillary Clinton. They didn't think she was a good candidate. That's why she. Yep. All right, brothers. If there's nothing else, we'll go ahead and get off of here. Unless y'all got something else.
Khalil gotta have something. He
Khalil
turned
been
his
quiet.
camera on.
He got a haircut. He been quiet the whole time.
His camera's on, brother. He gotta say something.
Everybody got a haircut. He cut all his hair off. Yeah. Unless I'm late. What's going on, good brother?
Well, nothing. How y'all doing?
Peace,
Good.
brother.
I don't think I got nothing. Yeah, I can't think of nothing. This is good to hear. This is good to hear y'all talk for real.
Right.
All right.
Not this time. But yeah, hopefully, Lord willing, I'll see y'all brothers for Bible study.
All right.
Which is 8 p.m. for anybody that's listening live, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on Zoom. And so with that.
I just thought about something. Has anybody heard of
this case? Go ahead.
Has anybody heard about this weird book that's being put in public schools? Supposedly some pedophilic book has been caught up in public schools.
I heard.
And now they're trying to prosecute the people that allowed it to be approved.
I did hear about that, brother. I did hear about that.
Not like sort of pedophilia or kind of hinting at it, like blatantly pedophilic.
This stuff, these around the country, man, school board meetings have been
lit.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. That's one way to put it.
That's how the young people say. It's been lit.
Yeah. Yes. I did hear about that, brother.
What state?
That was a mother, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think
she was up there reading it, and she had a sign up there. I saw that one as well. It was
they were
disturbing. Disturbing.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'll show you right now. Let's see here. Yeah, she was irate. She was reading. They were like, "This is smut." What you reading? Like, I'm reading a book that's in the library.
It's in the library, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is from Christian Post. Mom blasts school board for allowing books promoting pedophilia in school libraries. This is Stacy, 19, the mother of a student at Fairfax High School in Fairfax County, Virginia.
Fairfax? Oh no.
Virginia,
that's near you?
Yeah. It's like an hour away.
Hour away. Your backyard. Reads aloud sexually explicit content from 2 books distributed in the school district's libraries. That's at a meeting last month in September. Warning. Okay, hold on. A concerned mother has slammed one of the largest school districts in the United States for including sexually explicit books in their high school libraries, which she classified as pornography, for their graphic descriptions of sex acts between men and boys. Goodness. She read aloud the sexually explicit material and shared graphic images featured in 2 books available in the district's high school libraries at a school board meeting on Thursday. A video of her addressing this board uploaded by the advocacy group Do Better CPS has received more than 300,000 views. She explained, after seeing in September 9th school board meeting in Texas on pornography in the schools, I decided to check oh my goodness, can you imagine? So you see something going on in another school, you're just like, okay, I'm gonna go just check mine, and it's there too. So that makes you think, how pervasive is this? So she decided to check the titles at her school, and Langston held up the 2 books singled out at the Texas school board meeting that are also available in several public high schools at Fairfax County. She said that both of these books include pedophilia and sex between men and boys. Wow, that is pedophilia.
hey, good brother, didn't the lieutenant governor of that state didn't they ask him, the alphabet gang asked him to resign over coming out over something like that? He spoke in the church.
You know what? I'm not sure. I'd have to look that up. I'm not sure. But yeah, but
in Virginia too.
Yeah, it's
You
probably
talking about the governor of Virginia?
Yeah, wasn't it the
it's a
black
lieutenant governor.
lieutenant governor, black dude?
Oh, maybe, I don't know. I know the governor has a tendency to say stuff he shouldn't say and ends up getting himself in trouble.
Oh,
Oh my goodness. You know, I got, my grandson still go to school. My daughter said that they don't let the parents in the building. And I was like, why are he still going to that school? She ain't want to move him. I don't get it. This is different. This is different to me, man. This is different. Very different. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it.
is this what you're talking about, good brother?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hold on. Anti-gay messaging throws a cloud over Virginia GOP. Maybe that's not what you're talking about. Hold on. No, maybe not. You say it's a brother.
That sounds like it, but who's that guy? I don't know who that guy is. But that sounds like a lieutenant governor. He criticized and they wanted him out. Let's see.
I have to find it, good brother. I wasn't familiar with that.
Oh, he must be the one running against him.
Maybe.
Yeah, I had to look it up.
I'm not sure.
Anyway, he did the brother double down. He did not, he ain't apologize, and he ain't resign.
That's bogus, man.
Yeah.
Oh, those books?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And then just to say, well, I wonder what's in this, and then see the same thing. But then, hey, I worked at a university library when that change started happening. Man, I looked up and, you see them ordering books and it was like almost overnight. All these books about homosexuality. Just like overnight, I was like, man, what is this? Why are all these books on homosexuality? I was like, yes, like overnight.
Yeah, I was wrong, brother. It's Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson from North Carolina.
Oh, North Carolina. Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one.
Same type of books, I think. He was going off about.
Oh, really?
Yes. With like some graphic illustrations. Same thing. So yeah. That's what shocked me. This is in the South, though.
Oh,
It started.
Hey, I've seen him before. I've seen him before talk about gun rights, I believe. Hold on, let me share. I'm sorry, I cut you off, good brother. What were you saying, brother Elbert?
Oh no, I like the guy.
Yeah, I've seen him talk about gun rights before. Okay, North Carolina Lieutenant Governor faces vaccination calls after terming homosexuality as filth.
He was referring to the book, though, the way I took it.
North Carolina. Oh, go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
No, I'm with you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
North Carolina Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson says Christians must take control of public schools because children are being abused by being taught filth. There's no reason anybody anywhere in America should be telling any child about transgenderism, homosexuality, any of that filth. A Republican says students should not be taught about. Okay, I just read that. There's no reason. I just read that too. Now people have a problem. These words are repugnant and offensive. White House Deputy Press Secretary. They politicize everything. Andrew Bates was a native of North Carolina, said, according to the multiple outlets, the role of a leader is to bring people together and stand up for the dignity and rights of people, not to spread hate and undermine their own office. Wow.
What happened to letting kids be kids?
Man, what happened to drinking water out of a water hose and playing dodgeball and tag and playing baseball?
Social media happened.
You know?
You're gonna sit down and learn about
the internet happened.
Just you're gonna sit down and learn about private parts.
Man, like, come on, man.
You stumbled upon those things. They weren't teaching you that. That was something you wasn't supposed to see back in the day. You ran into your brother's room or something. It is, come to school. We'll teach you. You don't have to work. That's the sad part, was like, you being a kid and you know, you find out some things early. Now they're like, no, it's our job to teach it to them.
Yeah, I mean, I found out some things because I'm around some little bad kids. I'm gonna be honest.
I got a lot of older brothers.
But it wasn't like the teachers was in there teaching it to you.
Right.
That was not the case. That was not the case. I was around some bad kids. Man, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. So they're hitting on all fronts.
I say it's sad because they won't get to experience what it's like to just grow up as a child, you know, worrying about whether you're gonna have chicken tenders or mac and cheese for lunch, or going to school and worrying about just worrying about having friends. Now you got to worry
about gender fluidity.
Yeah, now you got to worry about deeper stuff than your brain capacity should be able to handle.
My goodness,
gonna be messed up, man.
Who came up with that?
Just totally removing innocence.
That's it. Yeah, you're taking the innocence. That's the actual violence. That's the actual violence. It's the violence against their innocence. Yeah, the loss of innocence at such a young age. You shouldn't even be dealing with anything sexual. You should just be a
kid. Yeah, just be a kid.
Yeah.
Brother, do you think that that's all the ploy to get young children to start making decisions and then legalizing, like we see some of the decisions that young people are able to make without their parents' approval? I mean, do you think that this is headed towards a child that's old enough to make the decision if they want to have sex with somebody too?
If I'd have kept reading, that's one of the platform on that platform. Give me one. Yeah.
Is that where all this is going? Like,
it's
giving
okay.
Children so much rights.
Okay. Hold on one second, brother.
It's funny you brought that up, Brother Willie, because me and my wife were saying if it ever comes to the point where they like legalize pedophilia, which they probably are, and a man comes to your house and tells your 3-year-old, "Hey, I want to take you out on a date to get some candy," your child's like, "You know what? Candy sounds good. Yeah, I'll go on a date with you." And they grow, and your child says yes because all they heard was candy. And
the last one, I didn't read it. And one of the last ones was repeal all laws governing the age of sexual consent. That was in 1972. They wrote it. So that's what else is left?
The National Association of Man Boy Love.
Boy Love, right.
That's
right. And then who said that's a thing? I can't see this.
I didn't know that. I
didn't know that either.
You never heard of NAMBLA?
Yeah,
that's a thing. Yeah, that's a real thing.
Yeah. I think they have TED Talks. I think they have TED Talks in Europe.
Yeah. So and then they out of the DSM, they took that out of as a mental disorder, pedophilia, and there was outcry, and they tried to fix it. Bro, this is an extension of Greco-Roman culture, which is pedophilia. People don't realize why do you think they have these clothes and these boys and the men are dressed the way in which they are, walking around with skinny jeans on?
Agony.
People don't even realize. Look at the clothes that they are giving to you little kids. The little kids have those on. Why these little kids have these skinny jeans on?
Lazy Dukes.
Mm-hmm.
They've sexualized the young people, the little kids.
They turned rappers into very feminine looking monsters too. I was looking at KRS-One and Big Daddy Kane. Look like men that I hang out with.
They did a verses, didn't
they? Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I didn't get to watch it.
But I can't hang out with them dudes called Quavo and Quavo with tight drawers hanging off of them. Anyway.
Young Thug, Kid Cudi.
That's Kid Cudi. All of them skinny as a rail, man. Skinnier than the girls, though. That's you know, they skinnier than the girls.
Yeah.
So you can't tell which one is which.
Because they all go each way. They in this. That's the thing. It's like they're in this. We go in every direction, and everybody wicked and crazy doing the same thing. You like girls, I like girls too. Drake got a song. I'm a lesbian too.
Drake,
it's crazy. I see Russell Westbrook now. I can't even look at him the same no more.
Hey, I was thinking I saw a clip of him on the bench at the Lakers game because, like I said, played last night and the night before, and I was just like, because he was always very aggressive on the court.
Yeah.
And I saw those pictures; it just threw me all the way, all the way up. I was like, I can't, because I knew that's one person he going 100%. He not going. He can't stand you. He hates your. I mean, on the court, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, nah, I just look. I was like, I can't even.
Can't even do nothing. Yeah.
Nah.
Played itself. Okay, I'm sorry.
How'd your kids, how'd your wife? I
was just about to say, how'd your kids, how'd your wife?
Wait, what?
How'd your kids, how'd your wife?
You remember that?
Antoine,
you remember that? Antoine Dodson.
There you go.
Antoine Dodson had a song years ago. Remember, it was a.
It wasn't even.
It was a news clip.
It was a news clip. Somebody broke into their house and
tried to rape his sister.
Yeah. The dude was a homosexual. He came down there and he had like a bandana hair wrap on or something like that. He was like, "Hide your kids, hide your wife," and people started making it into a song.
Yeah,
he made it to it.
He got famous.
Yeah,
he got famous behind it. Yeah,
he said he's not gay anymore.
I saw. It was so funny. Him and that same sister was on one of them judge shows fighting for $750 over some books she was writing, and it's a mess. It's a mess. I said, they look familiar. I said, oh wow, they fight over $750, man. Times was rough. They went from hide your kids, hide the wife, and you hiding your wallet. What's up with that bread? Good night, brothers. Yeah. Peace to you all.
On that note, y'all be safe. Stay prayed up. Everybody. And Lord, when I see y'all for the question and answer tomorrow.
Watch your kids.
Watch your kids, watch your wife.
Now I gotta go look at that. All right, good brother.
Peace, fella.
Peace.
Peace, everybody. Peace, good brother.